All right, babe. Come.
Park in the car.
All right, sorry.
Your people.
All right, guys. I have the same level. Do you know the level of anxiety that I have right now? It's like the same level of anxiety when I first met Mum. When I was coming to the house, like my heart is beating. I'm trying to stay calm, but
I'm now making your son a baby daddy.
Basically, we're literally on where we've parked outside of Mum's house, as in Ben's mum. Babe, I don't know what's happening, and we're about to tell them. I've got the box in my bag. We are about to tell them that we are about to have a baby. We basically lied to them and told them that it's about us moving to America, but really we're about to tell them that we're gonna have a baby. I'm gonna try and capture their reaction.
Hello, family.
Hello. Glasses.
Okay, Mom. I told Chantal a bit. So we are. I'm going to America for 3 weeks. There's a potential opportunity in America for me and Nissy. So we're thinking of moving. But it's like moving everything. So when I go, we're thinking of taking everything with us.
Eza te ke na estope bino. Eza ke bo kende po bo cheke me komi esi bo cheka ke bozui ba tuki ba advance and sala bani banini. Our hand is open to bless you guys to go. So Kozwana bino eza blessing to us too. So
John's gonna say no.
he'll be like,
But what
you're not gonna move to America.
With that being said,
You're not gonna go to America
because we're not gonna be here. We want to at least bring you a present.
Yeah.
We just wanted to say happy birthday. It's taken a long time for us to sort it out and to save for it. But it's not, hopefully with us going to America, we're trying to set everyone up. We're trying to fix and just make everyone's life easy.
What am I getting a present next week?
Because you've worked long enough, hard enough, and the goal is for you to retire, to stop working. So this isn't everything, it's just something small. But
money.
No, just give it.
No, let Mum open it.
Mum, wait.
All right,
Quick. Okay, go. What is it?
Mom, hurry up.
Hurry then, you fiera, Veronique.
Mama.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna put it on social media, by the way. Just so we can remember. I'm crying.
Oh, Chantal!
I didn't cry.
She cried!
Yeah.
Chantal doesn't cry, guys.
Anyway.
You know,
Sorry, I don't know my
of course you can. Oh, I'm happy for us. This baby is really our baby. Yes, so you guys just be ready, but because we need auntie duties. Yeah, guys, the last I found out yesterday. So, Mum,
she found it yesterday.
Guys, let me.
Is when you speak so soon, then it's just it's too much.
Auntie dance. What about the grandma dance? Grandma dance. Grandma dance. Go, Granny. Go, Granny. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for coming and gathering today. Basically, me and Ben have been, obviously, we've been talking for a little while. You know, Ben's been going back and forth to America. He's been going quite a lot. And obviously, we said that it was for church. But aside from church, it was also for business as well. Because we wanted to basically start looking to see if there were any opportunities out there. And we've basically been talking, and we've basically come to a bit of a decision that we think that it would be good to actually move out there. So I don't know if Dad, you want to start. I feel like you've got.
Do you want us to keep filming?
Yes, please.
It's a good news anyway. So whatever I take is a bad news. It's a good news.
Well, before we even carry on anyway, we wanted to also say that obviously we know that we're making our way away. So we wanted to actually give both Mum and Dad a gift. Obviously, before we go, it's something that we've been working really hard. Just wait, Sephora. It's something that we've been working really, really hard for, and
I'm actually not deep right now, but actually though.
yeah. Go on that side.
What is it? What is it? I think
Open it.
Open it now because you wanted to open it. Who do you think, Mum? Who do you think?
Come on.
Baby boy.
We're not going to America. We're not going. No, I swear. We're not going.
Listen, Lissy wanted to give you a story. Lissy wanted to give you a story. We're not going to America. Lissy wanted to give you a story. That was Lissy.
I'm crying. I'm gonna be pregnant. Oh my god. I can't lie. As soon as I now we're gonna they're bringing a baby.
We're not going to America. We're gonna have a baby.
Congratulations.
Oh my gosh. Mom, I didn't think. Really little shit.
Big man.
It was just a story to throw you guys off.
Lissy's drama.
I don't know what
It's just.
y'all like, they're gonna be far away. Y'all ate better. Y'all ate that for real. Wait,
We just.
know it's a boy?
No. I just bought it just because it was just there. I want it to be a boy too.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm gonna have a baby. How'd you feel?
So excited.
Come close. I want to see her face.
I literally crying. So excited, so happy. Like, oh my god. Like, you know what it is? You know,
I love it. How'd you feel?
I don't even know how to feel, guys. I feel like this is a dream right now. Missy's like gonna have a baby bump. I'm gonna be this is crazy. I just don't know how to feel. Pass on to the next person. This is too much. I can't wait to be an auntie, guys. This is gonna be amazing.
Still crying.
Girl, get out of my face.
Good morning, beautiful people. Ben is very tired. I just woke him up. But your hair looks good though, babe. You look really nice. You look good. Bless him. I woke him up so abruptly because so today is Friday the 18th, I believe, of August. and we are on our way to my very first appointment. So it's not a scan or anything like that, but basically on the way to the kind of like initial appointment that you do, which is like blood tests, looking at your medical record, seeing if there's any issues, etc. Yeah, my first appointment with my midwife, which is so crazy that I'm even saying that. How is that even possible? How is that possible, babe? And my baby woke up. I know, right? As in we're gonna have a small person, babe. I literally woke this guy up out of his sleep like so abruptly because I had the power circle this morning. I moved it back a little bit just to make it a bit earlier, but we started a bit late because my laptop wasn't working. Anyway, long story short, we're now on the way. I had to wake up Ben because it's pouring down with rain. I was just gonna walk over. It would have been like a 10-minute walk, but it's pouring with rain, so I was like, nah, let me not do that. So about to pull up and have this appointment. I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, we're here. Merci beaucoup. I'm just gonna walk down the thing. Yeah, just down there. All right, thank you, babe. I love you. Okay. All right, I love you. Bye. I left my keys with you. Okay, friends, excuse the fact that I look so crazy. Oh my god, and this angle is not the greatest. Okay, let me at least try and look reasonably reasonable. This hair needs to come out end of the month. This hair is coming out. I hate it now, to be fair. I just need to be doing up hairstyles. Anyway, friends, ignore my hair. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update. Obviously, you guys saw that today was my first midwife appointment, which went so well, but it was long though. So this appointment was basically, oh, sorry guys, I'm tired, so I'm gonna lean on the bath room sink. But this appointment was really long. It was about an hour and 15 minutes long, and Ben wasn't allowed to come with me. So I was a bit confused initially when they told me that Ben wouldn't be allowed to come with me, but then I spoke to my sister-in-law, who is also a midwife. I'm winning in life right now because my sister-in-law's a midwife, so she's been kind of giving me like everything that I need to know, the down low. She's been, oh, I'm just so grateful, because literally anytime anything happens, I'm like, hey girl, I've been feeling is this normal? And she'll be like, yeah, because of this. Yeah, she's absolutely amazing, my babe Shinsel. Anyway, so she was like, what did she say? She was like, yeah, it's very normal, because obviously sometimes what hospitals do, depending on the hospital, is they'll have an initial appointment so that they can ask you really kind of deep questions. Like they will ask you, you know, is there any history of domestic violence? Do you have any issues at home? Do you suffer with any mental health issues? And you know, sometimes people don't disclose, let's say for example, mental health issues with their partners. And so they get women to come in separately so that they can ask them the questions. And then that way, if the woman wants to disclose, she'll feel more comfortable to disclose certain things, because obviously the partner won't be there. So it was an hour and 15 minutes. The questions were never ending. My midwife though, she's so amazing. Her name is Tara, and she was just awesome. Like, we got on really well. We were chin-wagging about everything. I think that's also why my appointment was a bit longer, but she created space for me to feel really comfortable. She was reassuring, like with everything. She was just like, are you okay with needles? Don't worry, you'll be absolutely fine. I'm really gentle. She's been a midwife for about 20 plus years, so that made me feel really good as well. But she was so lovely. She was like, listen, in your pack, you're gonna get my number, so you can text me at any point in time. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, like just text me anytime. I was like, girl, I can text you. I can text my midwife if I have any concerns. I didn't know that was a thing, and I don't think all hospitals do it. But this is why also it's so important choosing the right place to live, because obviously myself and my husband, well, I grew up in London my whole life, and I immediately, as soon as we got married, I was like, I don't want to live in London. Just, yeah, London is great, it's amazing, it offers so many things, but I just think the quality of life in London is not great. It can be great if you have like, you're doing bola, and of course we thank God, you know, I'm not here struggling, we have money, but I just felt as though the quality of life just only works for people who are rich in London. So we moved out, and honestly, best decision ever. Hospital experiences are so much better. London, especially when you're in like a working class area, bearing in mind I grew up in East London, going to hospitals there would leave you traumatized. Like, not even because of their own fault, but just because of how many people are there. It's so saturated, there's so many people, there's not enough doctors, not enough equipment, like just so many things, trauma upon trauma. But I live outside of London now, it's a really quiet area. The doctors, they just take more time with you, like even going to the dentist, guys. It's just a more pleasant experience because things are slower, people are calmer, even the police are different out here. Not that I've had like experience with the police. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I just wanted to update you guys about my appointment. It was great. She was so lovely. I'm so happy that she's my midwife. I'm so happy that she's going to be with me throughout this entire process. Honestly, God bless me. She literally just gave me angel vibes. Like literally, I just felt like God just sent an angel and was like, I've got you. So that was great. Asked me loads of questions about my history in terms of mental health, illnesses, sickness, disease, what runs in the family, you know, things that I've experienced so far. They took my blood, they took a urine sample, and every time I go, I have to take a urine sample. So especially for first-time mums, just things that this is just basically me showing things that I think you should know. But that first appointment is very long. There were points where, I'm not gonna lie, towards the end, I was a little bit overwhelmed because there was a lot of information. But again, she was amazing. She was like, I'm so sorry, I feel like I bombarded you. I know it's a lot of stuff, but don't worry, all your other appointments will be a lot more chill. They won't be like this. But it did get a little bit overwhelming. That there was a point where I was like, this is a lot of information to process. She recommended things that I need to start taking, for example, folic acid, which, to be fair, when I went to go and get my contraception removed, the woman, sorry, I got to open this because it's so hot in here. The woman did say like I should start taking folic acid from now, but I just didn't listen. Like things that I should be taking, vitamin D, all of these different recommendations. She gave me leaflets to read. In fact, let me show you guys. These are the different things that I got. And as soon as I put this in my hand, I was like, Missy, this is really happening, babe. As in, you are really gonna be a parent. You're about to be a mom. You are gonna have a small person who's gonna look at you and be like, Mom, what the hell is happening? Anyway, so we've got this, actually is for Ben. So it's called the Dad Pad, the essential guide for new dads. And it has everything in it: holding and handling your baby, bottle feeding. They even have a bit like about dad's role in breastfeeding, so how a dad can support mom while she's breastfeeding, which is awesome. And then they give you this leaflet about my maternity choices. So I haven't actually read through this just yet, but I'm gonna go through it. But basically antenatal care and all of this different stuff. And it came with this, which you guys don't need to see what hospital I'm at, because that's none of your business, that I can scan to get information. So like pregnancy advice, antenatal newborn screening information, the real birth program, just a whole bunch of stuff basically that I can get there. Then this leaflet on the safest place for the baby to sleep basically, and then infant crying and how to cope, because of course babies cry, and I know that sometimes it can be overwhelming. So they gave me a leaflet with like all of these different like numbers on the back and stuff to be able to call. But as soon as she put that in my hand, I was like, this is real. We are going to be parents, we're going to have a baby. But now we have to wait about a week and a bit, because we are then going to go and have our appointment. which is basically our scan appointment. So that should be booked in a couple of days, and that should be in about a week and a bit. And we're gonna go for our very, very first scan. Guys, I don't even understand what's happening right now. I just feel, I don't know, I feel overwhelmed. But overwhelmed in a good way, not overwhelmed in a bad way. One thing that I will say, again, going back to what I mentioned before, and I'll close with this. When it comes to choosing where you live, honestly, don't just choose where you live because, oh, this is what I'm used to, which is what most people do. Like, they grew up in London, raised in London, so they just stay in London their whole lives, or they'll stay in a particular city or a particular area because that's all they know. Honestly, for me, it was the best decision ever to say, though I grew up in London my whole life, and again, it made me who I am. I learned a lot. It made me very wise in so many different ways. Moving outside of London has been the best experience ever. I love where we live. I love the community that we have out here. I love the fact that it's peaceful, and I feel peaceful when I'm here. I love the fact that I go to the hospital knowing that I'm not going to be stressed. Like, I went to basically where I had my first midwife appointment, it's like basically my GP surgery. But you just walk in and it's just so like just peaceful. I don't know how to describe it. There's just something in my spirit that's just at peace being here. The doctors, nurses are lovely and amazing. They look after you so well. You know, like I said before, even the dentists, like going to the dentist, everyone was so nice. Like, London, it feels like everyone's just trying to rush you in, rush you out. Like, everyone's in a mood, everyone's unhappy, everyone's stressed, and it's just not conducive. Not conducive to your well-being, or at least to my well-being. So yeah, anyway, I've been talking for for like 10 minutes. But I just wanted to update you guys and let you guys know where we're at. It's crazy. This is actually happening. This is actually happening. We're gonna have a small person. And yes, I call babies small people because they're people that are just small and they grow into big people like us. But yeah, exciting times, guys. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as and when. Okay. So guys, I've already cried, so I don't feel like I'm gonna cry in this video. Though please be aware, I may cry in this video. So today's been a really hard day. It is Friday the 8th of September. And Ben and I had a scan appointment. I don't even know if I've updated you guys in terms of like what's happening. By the way, excuse the fact I'm literally in the bed. I didn't plan to film this, but I have been documenting the journey thus far, and I feel as though I need to continue because this is real life. So let me even so much better. So 18th of July or the 17th of July, took a pregnancy test, came back positive. 18th or the 19th of July, basically the day after, we went and told Ben's mum and sisters. Obviously, I told Ben on the day. I surprised him with like everything, which I'm sure you guys would have seen. Obviously, Ben has been wanting children for forever. I've been the one that's kind of been delaying things and slowing things down. Anyway, fast forward to August, and I start bleeding. I have my first appointment with my midwife, and I'm fine. No issues, no problems, no worries. I go. She takes a urine sample, tells me everything I need to know, and then sends me on my way. About 3 days later, I start bleeding. it was literally like 3 days I start bleeding. At first it starts off really, really small, and then it progressively gets worse. And I start seeing clots. So I go to the hospital, A&E. We're there for hours. The doctor checks is it your cervix, I believe, and says, it looks fine, you look all good. Actually, 25% of women bleed in their pregnancy, and half of those women is absolutely fine. It's not anything to worry about or a miscarriage or anything like that. So I leave it, and they say, just keep an eye on it and you should be fine. I leave it. The bleeding fluctuates. Some days it's heavy, some days it's not, to the point where sometimes it stops. And then anytime I do like any form of like activity or whatever it is, it gets worse. Then a few days ago, the bleeding completely stopped. So absolutely nothing, absolutely fine. And obviously that means one of two things. Either if I'm miscarrying, it has now cleared from my body and it's happened. And if I'm not miscarrying, everything's fine and it's stopped. Obviously, I'm hoping and praying for the latter. Fast forward now to today, because I had an appointment 2 weeks ago. Yeah, fast forward to 2 weeks ago, in fact. So that was end of August. I had a scan. They started off by doing a stomach scan with the gel. They couldn't see anything. So they did a vaginal scan where they basically put this like thing up your vagina. And they could see that there was a sac, but it was very small and they couldn't see anything. So there's like no heartbeat, not anything. Which they basically say, again, could be one of two things. Either you're just way earlier on in your pregnancy than we realize, and in a couple of weeks there should be some form of development and we should be able to see some changes. Or this is like early signs of a miscarriage. So they give me an appointment 2 weeks from then, which is today, at 1 p.m. And we go in, they go straight into the vaginal scan, and they see nothing. Even the sac that was there is completely gone. And they said something like the lining of my uterus is really thin or whatever it is. I'm not gonna lie, I was even meant to ask what does that mean, but I didn't even process that. But long story short, basically, we found out today that we had a miscarriage. When I tell you, I've cried already, so that's probably why I'm kind of like, I'm okay now. But I cried a little bit when we obviously got the news, but I was okay, because the crazy thing is, I actually think that God has really been preparing me in my heart, because obviously we knew it was 50-50. We know it could be either way, especially because the bleeding at some point did get quite heavy. And I've been reading the book of like 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, and the story about David, King David. And the particular story that stood out to me, and I even said it to Ben in the car when we were driving back from the hospital, and I said, I feel like God was prepping me with that story. So in the story, a lot of people know the story of David and Goliath, but his story is so much bigger than that, way bigger than that. And this part of his story is after the whole David and Goliath thing. Cool. That's what happened. He's now king, I believe. And he sleeps with this random woman, which he shouldn't have done. And she ends up pregnant. And not only that, but then he then decides to go and get her wife. Oh, and by the way, this random woman has a husband. So he has an affair. She gets pregnant. He then goes and takes her husband and puts him in the front line at war and gets him killed. couple, then marries the woman. Listen, I'm telling you, if you don't read the Bible's a movie. Okay, it's a movie. But I'm so glad, in the words of Getz, the Bible is a movie. Absolutely love it when it said that. I've been using it ever since. But it's also amazing because it shows real life stuff. Like, we think we mess up. People in the Bible, they messed up. And yet God still used them. And that's just the grace of God. And it's just a reminder that, honestly, we may mess up, but our heart should always be to come back to God and say, do you know what, God, I messed up. I'm sorry. Please make me better. I want to do better. Anyway, so David now has killed off the woman's... He slept with the woman, had an affair, killed off her husband. She's now pregnant, has that child. And now, at this point of the story, the child gets sick. And he is obviously devastated. He is like fasting, praying. He won't eat. He won't talk to anyone. He's crying. He's on the floor. It's a mess. He is a mess. And eventually the child dies. Now the attendants, obviously, because he had maids and stuff like that, the attendants, as they're called in the Bible, don't know how to tell him, because they're like, if this is how he was while that child was sick, he could do something terrible, i.e. kill himself or what, try to kill himself or whatever it is. So the attendants basically are like mumbling amongst themselves and like, oh my gosh, like, what do? We don't want him to do anything crazy, like, what the hell? And obviously David overhears them and he's like, what's going on? They're like umming and ahhing whether not to tell him, and he's like, what, is my child dead? And they're like, yeah, we didn't want to say anything, but yeah, your child is dead. Sorry guys, my eye's really itchy. He was like, they're like, yeah, your child is dead. And he's kind of like, okay. He gets up, washes himself, gets himself clean, gets dressed, asks his like maids and attendants to make him food, sits and eats, and carries on with life. And even when I was reading that, I was like, bro, your child has just died. What? And later on I read that his attendants asked him, like, what's wrong with you? They were basically like, what's wrong with you? When your child was still alive but they were sick, you were over here basically doing the most. You were crying, you were weeping, praying before God, you wouldn't eat, you refused to talk to anybody. And now that your child is dead, you're just acting like everything is okay. And he said something. He basically said, when my child was sick, I was in that state because I was praying to God, because I knew that maybe if God wanted to, he would save my child. But the fact that I know that God has made a decision and has let this happen, and as hard as that is to hear sometimes, yes, God lets things happen. He does. And as some people may be watching this and thinking, then why on earth would you pray to a God like that? Because guess what? Even when those things happen, I still have hope. I would much rather go through hell knowing that I have God than go through hell and not have any form of hope at the end of it. Because the same Bible that tells me about when God lets certain things happen is the same Bible that also says that all things come together for good for those that love the Lord. And I believe that all things are coming together for my good.